Okay, what's up, fantasy book fans? Welcome to Fantology's coverage from the month of April and kickoff for our month of May. This is Steven, and Ben, Josh, Jake, and Ryan are all on full crew. Who's ready? Who's ready to break down? We're talking April, and then we're talking May, which is Best Fantasy Mothers for Mother's Day, right? Like,
Shout out to the moms.
yeah. What's up, Mom? Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
My mom's the best mom. My wife's also tied for the best mom.
Good cover. Good save. Good save.
I see you splitting that lane, Ryan. Just
Shout out to my mom who got me into fantasy. So
Ooh, okay.
She's my top fantasy mother.
Hey, my mom read Name of the Wind earlier this year.
Nice.
So she's getting into it a little bit.
That's a good fantasy mom.
Yeah.
Shout out to my mom who is responsible for twice as many members of Fantology than your moms are. Ooh, that is true.
Also shout out to your mom for getting me the complete set of Wheel of Time as a wedding gift.
Oh heck yeah.
All right, before we get into a real life mom battle, so we're going to reorder our monthly format. This month we're going to start with some Fantology news, some stuff that's happened on the channel for us this month, just to kind of keep listeners up to date with what they can expect. And then we're going to roll directly into the Fantasy Moms, the top 3 competition for next month. And then at the end, we're going to do fantasy news. It just seemed like people were more interested in the competition than they were in the actual fantasy news. Like, it's easier to Google that stuff. Maybe you're just not as interested. So we're going to do it at the very end. So if you want that, listen towards the end. Okay, so Fantology.
Wait,
yeah.
I think I know why people are more interested in the poll than in the fantasy news. I think it's because we spend too much time talking about TV shows.
Good theory.
It's a hypothesis. I don't yet have data to prove it. Once I do, then it will be established as a theory.
Okay, Ryan the scientist, he doesn't like TV shows as much. He's more into books. So we have some book news and we have some TV news. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what happened with Fantology in April, and what you can look forward to in May. So we had a few firsts for the channel. In April, we released our first skit. We have a 3-minute, 2.5-minute video on YouTube. It is a skit. I've heard it is funny and 5 out of 5 stars. And the acting is amazing.
Those edits too. Great edits.
I've heard all those things as well.
I heard that we got some prospective Hollywood soon-to-be stars for our skit.
Yeah, we've been talking internally about what's going to happen with Fantology once I accept a big Hollywood contract. So big things in the works. That's not true.
Default assumption, you were the Hollywood pick and not Dan.
Well, he's not on the recording, so I can say what I want.
Okay.
Yeah, so Dan from the Harry Potter episodes, who's also happens to be my uncle, a couple years older than me, him and I teamed up for a 2.5-minute skit called How's the Reading Going? Wait, what was it called? Just How's the Reading? How's the Reading? Yeah, so tune in for that if you want to see a crazy fantasy fan and a first-time fantasy fan going at it. Past the skit, which is available on YouTube, just go to our channel. So we finished our first arc, our advanced review copy for The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. Josh and I read through that and recorded our review just yesterday at time of recording now. That's going to go out in a couple days on release day for the book. So I was excited to get a big book and have some time to get into it before anyone else. And
there's actually our second arc, right? Because we had Daniel Green. Preacher Pete's.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and we also had the Descent of the Drowned. So we've had a few arcs, but this was the biggest.
Okay, yeah, this was the first one through NetGalley.
Yeah.
So NetGalley is the official distributor of most arcs, and we have an account through them now, and they send us things every now and then. So that was fun to get and fun to review.
Yeah.
And we actually had a different take on it than most of the other reviews. Josh and I have been kind of talking about it, so that might be a little controversial. We'll see. But check out our channel for our review of The Shadow of the Gods.
It shouldn't be a controversial take, but I think it's going to end up being a controversial take.
It is. When all the other reviews are 9 and 10 stars, And our review averages 7 stars. That's controversial.
Yeah.
But it's honest. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's honest.
it's not like this hot takes for the sake of having hot takes.
No.
So
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Okay, next arc. The next arc that we are going to be reading is called Seven Deaths of an Empire by G.R. Matthews, release date on June 22nd. And honestly, I don't know much about this book, but I've seen a few things on Twitter saying it's good. I'm going to stay away from reviews for arcs, I think, from now on, so I don't have a biased opinion going in. But I'm excited to, get our hands on these new books a little bit sooner than everyone else. That's fun.
Yeah. And I think in the same vein, maybe not the same vein, but we're also doing our first book club for Fantology, if you want to talk a little bit about that. But and I think if you're listening to this episode, then the plan is to do the first kind of chat on the 9th, I think, on Sunday the 9th. So
yeah, so this episode's probably going to go out like on Friday the 7th or so. So if you're listening and want to be involved in book club, you got to get on it really fast, actually. Or you can hop in later, because we're going to be covering probably for at least a month and a half. We're just going to do it a little slowly, conversations every week on Discord.
and
Tell
it's
us the book and how much to read.
Yeah. So it's the Priory of the Orange Tree.
By Samantha Shannon. And how much to read? It is free, if that's what you're asking.
No, how much to read before the first
How
if
far
they
to
want
read.
to yeah.
There's no buy-in, Ryan. So the first chapter is being discussed on Sunday the 9th, on Mother's Day.
You know that money is no object to me, Stephen.
Good. I mean, you might have to buy the book, so that's good.
Yeah. And the first chapter is only like 7 or 8 pages, right? So
No, the first chapter is actually pretty long.
oh wait.
It's the opposite.
Ben's reading
Hold
the
on.
wrong book.
Well, is there multiple parts to the first chapter? Because I got to a part that said 2, and so I just assumed that was the end of the chapter.
Okay, you might want to check in on the channel and see exactly what they're doing. I have not had the opportunity. I have not had the opportunity to start yet because I was frantically finishing Shadow of the Gods in time for Josh and I to review that one.
Okay, fair. But if you're wondering what Steven meant when he said check the channel, we have a Discord. We just broke 200 members on that Discord, so we're growing, but it's still like a pretty tight-knit community. So head over there, and there's just a channel on that Discord that says book club that you'll select when you join Discord. So
okay, new segment. We are going to, every month, we're going to read out our funniest negative review for the month to avoid, internalizing these things and letting it affect us. We're going to have fun with it. So who wants to read the negative review from YouTube? Should I do it, or does anyone else want to take it?
I don't have it in front of me. I can pull it up, but
All right, sounds like I'll be reading it.
I think Ryan should read it.
I don't. Is this the review about me?
Yeah.
To be fair, we don't know if it's about you or Steven.
it's about Ryan.
Shut up, Josh.
It's about Ryan for sure.
All right, I'll talk about it in my high as a kite voice.
Steven, just read the thing.
I'm gonna read it. I can't wait any longer. Okay.
Me neither.
That one dude sounds like he's high as a kite. These guys don't even know what happens in each book. Like, really, every single book is unmemorable. Getting all these books confused with each other, ... And it sounds like they don't even really like the series all that much. These obviously aren't fans. They keep on coming in with these low blows and bad takes, but they don't really understand the series at all. Kind of a shame, man confused gif. That's it.
Oof.
That's the review.
That was in reference to the Dresden Files.
Yeah.
16-book series.
17-book series.
Se-
You can't make
17
any
books.
mistakes, Josh. They're going to give
fair.
a negative review now. We have a
17
negative
book
review
series.
coming after that.
Most of which, like, Ryan read them recently. Steven read them, 6 years ago?
I mean, I did a reread of many of them, but
Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's like you're going to confuse events in a 17-book series, like, of which event happens in which book. But apparently this guy would never do that.
yeah, there's no forgiveness for us for making these mistakes. We are experts on everything we review. So that's our bad. That's our bad. So we apologize. We will try to do better in the future.
And Ryan, I need to hear you react about your high as a kite comment.
Yeah, can you respond, Ryan? Were you
Well,
high as a
I
kite?
am definitely, I don't sound like I'm high as a kite all the time, but I do some of the time. And so I guess I'll get better at that because I just don't, I just don't have an energetic personality all the time. But I'm trying to get better, okay? All right. So you can hold me to that. I'll be better in the future. Maybe I'll do some meth beforehand, or I don't know.
This is like we have marijuana Ryan and speed Ryan.
No, I'm
So ironically,
Which
the
high
episode
Ryan do
came
you
out.
want here? All right. Which one?
Okay.
All right.
Before we
Ironically,
get
the episode
demonetized.
came out with Hi Ryan. The episode came out on 420. So maybe that's what that guy was thinking. Yeah,
Or
maybe that's what he was thinking.
No, but
My-
we actually we appreciate these criticisms when they're
we
valid.
do. I mean, well, we appreciate you. There's good ways to give criticisms, which we appreciate, and then there's weird ways to give criticisms, which this definitely falls under. For one, you shouldn't tell somebody what their opinion is, right? Like, I think we all, with the exception of Jake, have a favorable like review of Dresden. Like, we all spent like days of our lives reading these books, and
Days of our lives, and I mean, candidly, I can guarantee you that I spent more money on these books than that guy did.
Nice flex.
That's not, yeah.
Speaking of money is no.
You've given Butcher
Issue.
more of your hard-earned money than this guy. Yeah.
Man, just wait and see if he stumbles upon my take about how it was a ripoff to fans who released Battleground and Peace Talks as two separate books.
Well, the thing is too, it's like, for one, he didn't understand that, like, we explicitly said, hey, all these books are good books, but we're rating them in contrast to each other. So there has to be a worst book of the series, right? Like, that's just something you have to do.
No. Mm-mm.
I mean,
Not if you're a super fan, Ben.
They're all
if
the
you're a
best.
super fan, I guess so.
They're all
I
the
mean,
best.
I guess if you're like a parent, you can't really rate your kids, but I mean, so is this guy
Yeah,
like the
it's frowned upon, but you can.
maybe this was like a burner account of Jim Butcher.
No. Come on, don't diss Jim like that.
Okay, that's fair. Jim would probably recognize that he had some books that were better than others.
It is kind of weird that around the Dresden fandom, there's like a little bit of gatekeeping there where if you want to be a mega fan and you get things wrong, they get really mad at you. And we haven't really seen that around other series. So let us know why that is. That's just maybe our misfortune for stumbling upon that. But seems like we've got a lot of flack from Dresden fans for like making small mistakes.
Yeah, well,
I got some support too.
we've got some support. Yeah, there's a lot of people, like, if you're on Discord and you've given us like constructive, like, hey, you might have missed this detail. That stuff we
constructive
genuinely
criticism
appreciate.
is
That.
good. Yeah.
We appreciate that. If it's just like, if you're like commenting in the YouTube section, like, oh, this was like a wrong opinion, that's a little bit weird, still somewhat valid. But then if you like start throwing insults around, saying that kind of stuff, then that's where like, okay, you can just like show yourself out.
I don't know how much we can expect from the YouTube comment section though. So
No, that's true.
Yeah, it's gonna be the fuel for a lot more negative review segments of the month in the future. Yeah. YouTube comments.
Don't try and get featured in this section though. Don't go create
we're
like a
just
YouTube
encouraging
account.
people.
Yeah, don't make it your goal. Okay, we got to get through the Fantology news a little bit faster so we can get to the moms. So a couple more news items. Ryan and Jake and I visited the Dragonstone Entertainment warehouse the other day.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
That's where, not to be confused with the Cosmere house, which is where most of Brandon Sanderson's stuff used to be shipped out. I think with this Way of Kings Leatherbound Kickstarter, they really upped their game as far as shipping. So they purchased a warehouse.
They at least rent out. They at least lease out a warehouse.
Yeah, they probably
we're not sure about the ownership details.
They probably did not purchase it. You're right, Stephen. They rent it out from or lease it from some other owner of this property. But it was interesting. They sent me duplicate packages with some of the perks from the Kickstarter, and I emailed them back. And I said, hey, you guys sent me these duplicate books. What are you going to give me to give them back to you? And they said, we will trade you a tour of the Dragonsteel warehouse in exchange for you to return those books. And we said, okay. And I was like, I'll bring my buddies, Jake and Steven. And we all went, and it was a jolly old time. And we saw some cool things. Luckily, we didn't see the wit coin in person because we're not witless.
Thanks for that summary,
They
Ryan.
really had us save face there by not letting us see it there at the warehouse. Huh?
Yeah. The next
Well
day
done.
we saw it online.
Yeah. So if you don't know, to kind of fill in the gaps there, so Brandon Sanderson did this Way of Kings leather-bound deal last year, and if you bought into the Kickstarter, you got all these perks along with the leather-bound book. And one of them is this coin, commemorative coin that has Wit, his character from his series, on one side, and on the other side it says Witless, and there is a little mirror, so you see yourself, and it's a little insult on yourself. And they didn't show us that at the time, but anyway, at the warehouse there were, a bunch of volunteers and a bunch of boxes, and there weren't like magical stacks of books, if that's what you're imagining.
I was expecting Beauty and the Beast, West Wing, or whatever it is. With
You wanted a
library.
ladder, a rolling ladder.
Yeah, I was expecting us to walk in and Brandon would be like sliding across the ladder and go, "Oh, hello!" But
As he's
Unfortunately-
writing,
What about like a Harry Potter when he's choosing the wand scene with what's his name? Who's the bad-
Oleander.
Oleander.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
not Oleander.
Ollivander.
Ollivander. Gosh,
Dang it.
Oleander, I think, is a bush.
Yeah. But
more
like,
negative reviews coming at us now.
No, I
Um,
haven't seen, so I can't be sure. I need to see the book to really say whether you're right or wrong.
But it was
They're
a
right,
pretty
they're
cool
right.
For
experience.
Ollivander?
Yes.
No, it's Ollivander.
Hold up.
Agree to disagree. Josh, you don't need to look this up, man.
No, this is
It's
what
definitely
are we-
Ollivander.
guys. What are we
Guys,
talking about
I'm
here?
joking here. All right.
Josh isn't convinced it's Ollivander.
Josh is
No, I'm convinced. I'm trying to prove Ryan right.
Josh, I think we all
Ryan.
know that Steven's right. Jake, what was your point?
Oh, I was just gonna say the warehouse was really fun. It was really nice of them to let us go down there and like offer that. Props to Ryan for the honesty to return the books.
Props to me.
But it was cool. It's cool that they have the little business they do. It's cool to see a successful author able to employ all these people under him and create this whole experience for us, as opposed to just writing books. Not only that, we get these special editions and all the swag and things like the wit coins. We saw all the coins for the different orders
Different
of the Knights
orders.
Radiance. That
Yep.
was really cool too.
I have a question. You've mentioned volunteers a few times. What's the purpose of volunteering? Just to kind of like
They
be
have a
part
little
of the whole
community.
culture?
They
I'm
show
glad
up and
you
they hang out
asked.
and they talk about books.
I'm glad you asked, Josh, because Jake asked what it was like to get a job there, and the guy Michael Bateman, I think he runs the Kickstarter. He actually said that
Mhm.
there's a long list of people who want to work for them, which doesn't surprise me. And so I thought, well, maybe these volunteers are just trying to get a leg in the door, a foot in the door, and then get a job at Dragonsteel. So I asked him, are these volunteers trying to get a job at Dragonsteel? And he said, well, some of them are, but others are just there for the community, hang out with like-minded people who have similar interests. But I was kind of surprised at when I first heard that there were people who are volunteering their time, but it makes sense to me now.
Yeah, I mean, we can't really talk. We devote
Yeah.
hours a week to talk about fantasy
So
books.
this isn't like a Carol Baskin type situation.
I was gonna say,
No, I did think of that when I was there though.
So it is Carol Baskin.
No, it's not. These are
Or-
people who like want to spend time, doing something, or people who are just like, we need to do some service or something like that. And
It's in the
Okay.
evening. It's not like they're working
Huh.
full time for very little money to get.
They're not Oompa Loompas.
So Sanderson's not like
there's-
developing like a cult, like in a compound
No,
somewhere. That's like
there's no
Intentionally.
tiers of volunteers either. It's not
Sanders-
like
Sanderson's not the next L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh,
Ooh,
God.
this is going dark real fast.
Let's just think of the volunteers as prospective Fantology fans, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's all they are.
Everybody is a prospective Fantology fan.
But these ones are higher
Except for
tiers.
Scientologists now.
That's why I aggressively talk to all of my coworkers about my podcast.
Okay, next fantasy news, Fantology news item. We are going to, every episode, start shouting out other content creators just to highlight other people in the area. If you like what we're doing, maybe you'd like some others. Who's our first lucky shout out?
I'd say Friends Talking Fantasy. We've had them.
Friends Talking Fantasy. Yeah, we're big fans.
We've done some stuff with them before. They're really awesome. They not only do they review fantasy books and fantasy things like we do, but they also have started doing these. What did they call it? I wish I remember the name. But basically, they like will get a premise for a book and some character archetypes, and we'll kind of run through kind of build a quick story from it, which is really cool.
They do a lot of creative things. They're a fun listen.
Yeah.
Dylan and Charles. So I'd say they're probably our best friends out there in the content creators thus far.
Yeah. But if please let us, or did you guys have more?
I mean, I have some more, but you can continue Friends Talking Fantasy because they're cool guys.
No, we're just gonna do one an episode.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I was just gonna say, let us know in the comments if you guys have other ideas of people or organizations we should give a shout out to.
Yeah, and I will say too, we have on our Discord, we have a channel called Self Promotions. So if you are interested in what we're doing and think you could enjoy what other people are doing, join Discord, hit up that channel. People post, weekly or whatever, like content that they've created. So check that out.
Or if you're doing something yourself or want to, that's a nice little easy way to promote with a group of prospective fans. So we want to help out others as well. Okay, last thing, and then I promise we're going to do the moms. Ben, tell us about TikTok in like 20 seconds.
Okay, TikTok. Well, I assume you know what TikTok is. Fantology has a TikTok channel now that I've undertaken, and I basically just kind of try and adapt some of the stuff that we talk about on our channel and make them bite-sized pieces to go on TikTok.
Yeah, so follow us, like us, watch us.
Ben is attempting to translate our content to Gen Z. He's doing some incredibly difficult work here, and he needs your support.
We started a podcast specifically because we wanted the longest form possible to talk about fantasy books, and now we're getting into 20-second TikTok.
Well, here's the thing,
they
man.
can be a minute.
There's a huge. They can be a minute. They're testing out 3-minute things too. I think you have to get to a tier though. Anyway,
okay.
It's so funny because there's a huge book talk scene, right? Where there's like these people have like hundreds of thousands of followers, but it's all YA. Which no hate to YA. I like YA. I read YA books sometimes, but it's just so funny because it's like totally Gen Z. So I'm trying to be a voice in the dark. How old is Gen Z
right now?
I think that they were born like after 97, after 98 or something. So they can be
like 22.
Yeah. But most of them are younger. I mean,
so they're right at the cusp of wanting to get out of YA. So we're going to be, we're going to be the perfectly positioned in TikTok.
Oh, good idea. Here's a good idea. Ben, Fantology should do a TikTok saying, hey, if you like these YA series, here's some other.
Ooh, we could do like one of those left and right hands. Like, if you like this, then you like that,
Oh,
Is that a TikTok thing?
Yeah, that's a TikTok thing.
Yeah, Ben's really into TikTok. He knows. He does dances and stuff.
Oh, we really got to get some dancing in the background. If I know one thing about TikTok, it's have someone dancing in the background and text displaying, telling a story up front that has nothing to do with the dancing.
Yeah, that is TikTok in a nutshell.
Okay, so last month, Fantology did a bracket, as we usually do on Twitter. If you're a first-time listener, this is what we do every month. And last month, it was top 3 sidekicks. And almost every entry featured Samwise Gamgee, so it was no surprise when he appeared in the winning entry, although not in first place, in second, so everyone gets 3 entries in your entry. You get 3. You can choose 3
You're doing
sidekicks.
A top 3 entry, so there's...
Yeah, that's what it is. You know what I mean. So in the winning entry was from first Wheel of Timer, first Watt Timer on Twitter. So congrats again. And the winning 3 were Syl from Stormlight Archive, Sam Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, and Nightblood from the Cosmere, first appearing in Warbreaker. Solid entry.
Is this really the first time like a non-Wheel of Time content has won the bracket?
Wait, they are Wheel of Time, aren't
Maybe?
they?
No,
Well,
but none of the
creators
Just
entries.
of
the
Time.
Reddit or the Twitter handle is, but not none of the.
But none of the
Yeah.
entries include Wheel of Time things, right?
Two Sanderson things though.
To
Yeah.
Sanderson.
Still
Also,
very mainstream.
there's
Yeah.
not many. There aren't any many like
Any
sidekicks.
many?
Any many Mighty Mo sidekicks in Wheel of Time, right? There's
Either
side
they-
characters, but
either-
not really.
Yeah, exactly.
Tal Manis got all the way to the finals.
Oh, that's right,
Lost
yeah.
in the finals, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you win, you do get a prize. So that's kind of some extra sugar on top for entering. So yeah, make sure you enter the Mothers one that we're about to talk about.
All right. So top 3 moms in science fiction and fantasy. Who's going to start off?
I'm gonna go first because I don't want somebody stealing my Harry Potter one.
Are there any
So-
rules we need to define before we get started
don't
here?
think
Yes,
so.
Well,
yes, because you guys tried
apparently-
to sneak something in. We didn't think there were, but
No, there's no rules. I mean, yeah, you define motherhood however you want, and then the people of Twitter will decide how valid your entries are.
Yeah, I
That's
think
fair.
if we decide to define motherhood, we are going to get canceled. So we
Yeah,
probably
but- okay,
shouldn't do
so-
that.
Jake and Steven, before the show, we're talking about like if Jenny and Hermione would be considered mothers because we know that they eventually have children.
They have children at the end of Harry Potter.
Well,
And
okay,
within the book, they are
within the
mothers,
series, yeah, but you never see them acting as mothers.
which would make them a weaker entry in the opinion of some. It doesn't discount them
Oh
from
my
entry,
goodness.
though.
I mean, one could argue that Hermione is pretty much Harry and Ron's mother. For
Yep.
90% of
You
the series.
definitely could argue that.
Yeah, there's an argument there.
She
yeah.
even has the like never-ending purse that she brings around that every good mother has.
Yeah.
That raising the moleskin.
Yeah, whatever that.
I feel like we
bag
never
is.
have very strict guidelines on our polls.
There's really no point in putting rules on because once it gets thrown out to Twitter, people enter whatever they want.
Yeah.
And there's no way I'm going to spend the time to regulate the entries. So please just, come up with something
Try-
reasonable.
So Ben,
I
just
guess-
just give us your best interpretation of a mom.
I guess try to avoid spoilers if that's even possible
Yeah.
or a thing. But
That would be a thing. Like if we're introduced to a character early on and then later she becomes a mother, for the example of Harry Potter, which we just spoiled. But I think we're past, the statute of limitations there on spoiling
Yeah.
Harry Potter. But if there's
That's
another
just-
series, did
You
I say
can't
it wrong?
you can't throw
No
out
statute
Darth
of
Vader
secrecy.
as a father.
Well,
I
thanks,
mean,
Ben.
you can now.
His name
What?
literally means dark father.
Okay.
okay,
So-
go Ben, go.
All right, you know what it is now. Go ahead, Ben.
Okay, so Lily from Harry Potter, I think that this is like a super cool example of what a mother's love can do. I would have wished that we would have seen more of her throughout the series. And this is kind of actually a pattern that I've seen as I was generating my list, is that these mothers, at least that I was able to come up with, kind of have an influence on our characters, but aren't actively like taking like part of the action of the books, which
Yeah.
is like unfortunate, So we want more screen time.
Yeah.
At least I would like more screen time. It's cool to see these effects, but yeah, does that make sense? Do you guys notice the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
parents in
mothers-
general, there's not as much of, because we like to have the, the trope of the orphan hero who saves the
Mhm.
day.
Yeah.
But themes of motherhood do go through. Like you said, she doesn't have much screen time, but her motherhood is a really important part.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
poignant.
So-
It's sacrificial. It is kind of like a deeper level to magic that you're kind of introduced to in Harry Potter, which is really cool. To know that there's kind of like, oh, like Wingardium Leviosa is like a spell, but like there's also like this kind of deeper current of magic that can kind of run through, and we're kind of exposed to that through Lily. So that's cool. Okay, so that's my first entry. My second entry. Now I'm not going to say the name because that would be a spoiler.
Okay. I'm
So
interested to see how you handle this one.
I mean, I could just, I guess, pick somebody else, but
I'd
No,
prefer if you danced while talking about it.
so okay. So Licanius, the main character in Licanius is Davian, and Davian's mother, who is, you don't find out kind of the history behind this until late in the
Okay.
series.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
good.
Don't spoil
Uh-huh.
it. Yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
yeah, but fantastic character, fantastic reveal, fantastic. She did have more screen time than your average mother, I guess. So, okay, Now, I'm gonna say I have some other
So much
that
suspense here.
okay.
Yeah,
Only
this is gonna be
because
good.
okay, so only because of the most recent book of oh gosh, why am I blanking on the most recent book in
Talking about
Stormlight?
Stormlight Archive.
Yeah.
Rhythm
Rhythm
of
of
War.
Rhythm of War. Okay, can you guys guess who I'm gonna say here?
Yes.
Okay, Hesina, Cal's mother, came in
Oh.
clutch.
Oh, not the
Wasn't
one I
thinking
thought
of
you were
her.
gonna say.
Not the one. So
But yeah, good one.
Hesina, she came in clutch. I feel like in Rhythm of War, she was able to be this bridge between Kaladin and his father, and able to give both of them much needed perspective at times, and kind of just, I don't know, for some reason, like those chapters felt really wholesome, but also like super like ultra realistic to me when she was kind of putting oh, why am I forgetting Cal's
Let's-
father's name?
Lyran. Let's
Lyran.
not do too many.
Lauren.
Yeah,
Let's not do
Lyran.
too many spoilers for the book, though. It's not-
Okay, sorry, that's true. I don't want to spoil it, but Hesina is a character that really I enjoyed her screen time in
Okay.
Rhythm of War.
Cool.
So that's my top 3.
There's a couple really good mothers within Stormlight Archive. Now that you bring that up, like I wasn't expecting that pick from there.
Are you going next then, Jake?
Yeah, that's my segue in. Okay, number 3, I have Joyce Byer from Stranger Things.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice get.
I think she's a really good mother. I mean, I know this is a TV show, so pardon me.
No, allowed.
Ryan.
Allowed. SFF entries are allowed of all sorts.
I will
All
allow
sorts.
this entry.
I think especially in season 1, but like throughout, like her whole goal is just to like driven by being a mother and trying to find her son, and she goes through such lengths, not caring what other people think about her or putting herself in danger. And I think she's a very admirable mother.
She's a single mom too.
Single mom too. Yeah, she's doing it all. Number 2, I have Ellen Ripley from Aliens, specifically the second movie in the franchise. I think her character overall is just one of the most well done, strong female characters in science fiction or fantasy.
Which characters?
And
Who plays?
Sigourney Weaver.
Okay.
She's the main character, yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like they balance her like femininity and motherhood very well with her being capable. Like it's not, and a lot of times that is kind of seen as a stereotype or whatever, but her character doesn't let that define her that way. And then
Jake, before you move on, do you think that she is a better mother than the alien queen?
That is a good question. I mean, judging by how the movie ends, yes, because she beats the queen. So
That winning doesn't necessarily mean you're a better mother.
well, what is the better mother? The one that protects their young or the one who dies?
What about the one who's just perpetuate her alien race?
That's true. I think there's a very good argument for the queen alien and aliens.
We can talk about this philosophically later.
Along that same vein though, Ryan, my number 1 pick is very comparable to the queen and aliens, and I'm gonna say Cersei Lannister. She is a top-notch mother. Everything she does in the series is driven by her being a mother and a parent and wanting the best for her children. Not necessarily makes the most ethical or moral choices, but
Not at all. No.
I think and I really like in A Feast for Crows, kind of spoilers for A Feast for Crows, I like how we get a lot more of her viewpoint, and I really started to sympathize with her more after that. Yeah, those are my top 3. Oh,
All right.
and the prime pick, I mentioned this before, but it's got to be my mom, because she's the one with her love for Wheel of Time got me into fantasy. Can't believe you didn't see this, Ben. So Josh, you're gonna get points over Ben because you can say it afterwards. But
Wow,
Janie,
sounds like
Got some
someone
brown
forgot
on
to
your
get his
nose
mom
right there,
a Mother's
Jake.
Day present.
Still got a
We're
week.
too late.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go then. Should I go third?
Go for
Yeah,
it,
third.
Josh.
you got it, Josh.
All right. Well, my mom is actually the best mother for Mother's Day. That's just hands down.
She's only the best mother for Mother's Day, not for the rest of the year.
Ooh, nice clap back, Ryan.
She's the best mother every day of the year. Um, in terms of fictional mothers, we're going to walk through some. I'm going to say these aren't in specific order, but Narcissa Malfoy from Harry Potter, specifically from the final book. Like, she just gets to the point where she doesn't care about Voldemort anymore. She doesn't care about anything else. Like, the only thing she cares about is Draco. And even when Draco hasn't been the nicest to her and hasn't been super great to her, she's just like, there's a chance he's alive, and just jumps on it.
Has Draco ever been nice or super great to anyone?
That's a negative.
Himself.
Maybe
Okay.
to oh, what's his girlfriend's name? I can't remember.
No, but he was always a jerk to her too.
Does he start dating Pansy?
Goyle
Pansy
and-
Parkinson.
No, he's a
Goyle?
jerk to Crab and
What does
Goyle.
it mean?
He makes them transform into girls at one point.
Maybe they
Yeah.
wanted to.
Okay.
Did you ever
Josh,
think
what's
about
your
that?
next? Who's your
Snape.
next one?
He was always he's pretty mean to Snape in the last one.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one is Rachel Creed from Pet Cemetery. Pet Cemetery, just for parents in general, like, who I related to both of them a lot. But she had like a lot of love, and she didn't have the best relationship with her parents, but she still cared a lot about her family. And then the last one, which might not be an actual mother, but is Aunt May from Spider-Man. I know that
Oh, definitely counts.
titularly
Definitely counts.
she's an aunt, but she raises and mothers Peter, and just always has the best wisdom. Like, everything they do with the character, I've been a big fan of, like in all the series and in the comic books I've read, the Spider-Man. She just always like has a light about her when she's on screen or on page, and like you always know that she's going to give some profound advice to Spider-Man that he needs to go save the day. And so yeah, I think she would be the top mom out of those three.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, Ryan, you or me?
I'll go next. My number 3 pick is going to be Charity Carpenter from the Dresden Files.
Oh, dang, that's a good one.
So all of you people who think I hate the Dresden Files, joke's on you, because I don't. I picked Charity Carpenter for this. She's willing to, she cares for her family deeply. She's willing to go out and even
I can
fight
see Steven
evil.
over looking at his list, adjusting it. It was on there.
Actually, no. Actually, I overlooked.
Sorry, Ryan. Go for it.
She's a great character. She has an interesting relationship with Dresden because Dresden's always putting her husband in danger.
I don't know. That's a cool pick because she's multi-layered. She yeah.
At first
Cool
you
pick.
see her and you're like, she's just like annoying kind of, but she grows and she grows on you. And anyways, she's my number 3 pick. So read the Dresden Files and she's a good one. And
Yeah.
all right, my number 2 pick is going to be Navani from the Stormlight Archive.
There
Who-
it is.
What?
No, that's who we thought Ben was going to choose.
That actually
Yes.
isn't who I originally thought Ben was going to do either.
You thought he was gonna choose the? Never mind. I don't want to spoil. do
Yeah,
any spoilers.
exactly. Yeah.
So, Navani, she is a great mother. 2 of her children are featured largely in the Stormlight Archive, Elokar and Yasna, and they are both very interesting characters, totally different, and they have interesting strengths and weaknesses. We learn a lot about her relationship that she had with what's the name of the king?
Gavilar.
Gavilar, with Gavilar in Rhythm of War. And Rhythm of War just really it is kind of a book of a few different mothers, and Navani's featured strongly in it. And I wasn't excited about her viewpoint at the beginning of the book, but I really like how she morphed as a character,
Definitely.
and how she how
She
her
probably had
love.
the coolest line of the whole book too, the bastard line.
Yeah.
Yep, she had a cool line about a bastard,
It's like, yeah, I
and
gotta say best.
not that she sired a bastard. She's
Okay.
she's a good mother.
Ryan's picks have been funny. Go to your number one, Ryan.
My number one is actually going to be a three-way tie.
You can't choose 3 for your number 1.
I can, and I'll tie it all together.
It's like all my list is gonna be gone.
It's going to be a tie between Cersei Lannister, Catelyn Stark, and Daenerys Targaryen. Because you think about Game of Thrones, it's really the story about mothers and mothers doing whatever it takes for their kids. And you can say that Ben's pick, Lily Potter, she was willing to die for Harry. Lots of mothers are willing to die for their children. But how many mothers are willing to kill for their children? But no, they're all super interesting characters. I agree with everything Jake said about Cersei. I was not looking forward to Feast for Crows. I thought I'd heard bad things about it, but I really liked the Cersei viewpoints in that book, and it actually made it one of the favorite books of the series for me. Of course, everything that happens with Catelyn and Daenerys too are very interesting. So it was super interesting series with mothers who might not be featured on, like, they're not technically the leaders of their houses, or at least not apparently, but I think it showcases the strengths of the mother. And I think that both my wife and my mom would be the top of the list if they were fantasy or science fiction characters.
Nice. Good shout out.
Okay, my turn. Now that Ryan's
Done.
taken up all the possible entries.
Turned a 3 entry into a 5 entry.
I left you one, Steven.
Yeah. No, you did. I'm gonna pick it up. Don't worry, Josh. So
Okay.
my number 3 is going to be, well, actually, ordering is hard. Okay. Number 3, I'm gonna say is Quoth's mother. I had to look up her name. Her name is Lorien, and she's a great mom. There's some kind of mystery around her. That's all I'll say for now. Read the book if you haven't read. It's from Name of the Wind, Kingkiller Chronicle. Number 2. So from Age of Madness, I don't want to say who this is because it's like a slight spoiler for the heroes, but this is a character that appears in the heroes and also appears in Age of Madness. In Age of Madness, she's a mother, obviously. And if you've read the series, you probably know who I'm talking about. Associated with the lion, that's enough for you, so you know which character this is. She's great. Good battle prowess in terms of strategy, and smarter than most of the other characters, which is pretty common occurrence for Joe Abercrombie books. There's always characters who are much smarter than the other ones.
She's a good pick.
And yeah, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. Okay. And my number 1, I'm going to go with a character from The Shadow of the Gods that Josh and I just reviewed. A mother who's a point of view character. Her name is Orca, and you should read the book. If you haven't yet, tune into Josh and I's review. And I realize this is a plug for something that we just did, but she is like legitimately a great mother, a great character. And you 3 don't know yet because you haven't read, but Josh can support me here. This is a good pick.
She slays. Yeah, she's a great pick.
Yeah.
Like
Ryan,
figuratively and literally slays, or
yes. In answer to your question, how many mothers are willing to kill for their child? The body count stacks up.
nice.
Okay, so that's mom's. Let's do any additional ones we have to throw in quickly, and then we're gonna hit news quickly, and then call this episode a wrap.
Yeah, I got 2 that I kind of thought of. One is the other Dresden mother, which is Margaret Le Fay, who is Dresden's actual mom. And
Kind of a crappy mom.
Oh, spoilers.
Well, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
We
that.
don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're kind of, well, I would say we're slowly finding out more and more information about her, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And it seems like she's done some things that for her son's benefit. So
Okay, honorable mentions don't get descriptions; they just get names thrown out.
oh, sorry. Okay.
I can't believe no Molly Weasley for Harry
Yeah.
Potter. Those Harry
Yeah.
Potter people. Sarah
Did
Connor.
someone
Terminator.
said her name, right? Someone said Molly's name, but maybe just didn't make it onto the picks.
Ben said Molly's name. Well, no, he described her.
No, we talked about it before the podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Molly.
Okay. What about Deanna from? She's Darrow's mom in Red Rising.
For sake of time, honorable mentions just get names.
Okay, that's all my honorable mentions. So
Ty Grain.
Okay, Wheel of
from,
Time.
Wheel of
Yep.
Time. Yeah. Martha
Ryan,
Kent,
Josh, any
really
honorables?
good one.
We talked about pretty much every potential one that I
Yeah.
mentioned.
Ryan threw his 2
Ryan's-
honorable mentions in his first place pick.
Yeah.
Did that screw you up, Steven?
No, I have more. Don't worry.
Okay, let's hear your
Oh.
honorable mentions, Steven.
Can I do the Stormlight 4 one? That's kind of a spoiler, or
No.
Can you describe it so we know, like people who've read the book know, but other people won't?
she's a singer, or
Nice.
Okay,
Oh
good.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good enough.
cool.
Honorable mentions on my end. So if you count Amerlin's, we talked about this, like Swan could be a good one. Or if you want to go deeper into Wheel of Time spoilers, you could probably come up with some other ones. I've also got from Song of Ice and Fire, Queen of Thorns is a good mother. It might be a little bit of a stretch. She's just a cool character. And then from Dune. No,
yeah.
Dune.
Oh,
We
yeah,
read Dune.
yeah.
Yeah. Lady Jessica. Good.
Lady
good mother.
Jessica.
That was
She's
a
a really
good
good
pick.
mother. Yeah.
And then his Dark Materials, I have Mrs. Coulter.
Mm,
I mean, she's a good character.
she's a good character. Yeah.
Yeah. Josh, any more?
I could no. I mean, I don't know why I wasn't thinking about it a bunch tonight. So
All right. Moms is a wrap. If you want to enter, please do. Just DM us on Twitter or respond in the plea for entries that I send out. It's not really a plea anymore because we get a lot of entries, but we'll get you into our competition that will run through the rest of May. Okay, we are low on time, but we do want to do some fantasy news. So if you have something to say on these things, hop in. So Sanderson finished Skyward 3, which he does not have a title for. We were looking for a title potentially at the warehouse, like scribbled on a piece of paper or on a whiteboard, but there was nothing. There was no title. We were unable to get a title for Skyward 3. That is still in the works. He is working now on the Lost Metal, which is making some progress, which is Wax and Wayne 4, and the conclusion of the second set of Mistborn books.
when we were at the warehouse, there was a whiteboard we were told we weren't supposed to take a picture of as we were taking pictures. After he said we couldn't take a picture of the whiteboard, we were like scouring it, trying to see why can't we take a picture of this? Are there some hidden clues? But there was something that said read cryptic, and we were like, what could that mean? But it meant nothing.
That was just that was the code name for Skyward 3.
Yeah.
Just that they used at
but-
the warehouse. It's not like Sanderson's code name or anything.
Yeah, it was just, but that's what I mean. There was no information to really be gleaned. It was all just had to do with warehouse logistics.
Okay,
tried,
and we're
guys.
excited for Mistborn. We'll definitely do a reread of the Mistborn books. Mistborn is an area that we have failed in as Fantology reviews. We've only got a review for the first book. We'll do more. We'll do more as we get closer to Lost Metal. We'll definitely catch up for that. Okay, next TV. Ryan, you're excited about this, but I know you've actually seen this show. So Witcher season 2 filming is done. Wait, have you seen?
Witcher? I actually did watch it and I enjoyed
Okay.
it.
Really
so
enjoyed it.
filming
Season
wrapped.
1, not season 2.
You got an arc on season 2.
Advanced.
So hopefully we'll see that. I think
Watch
by
it.
the end of 2021.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the plan. End of 2021.
it does seem like there's like a lot more fantasy TV coming out recently, though, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, Amazon has a show called The Nevers, which I haven't been to, I don't know. I can't don't like
HBO.
it. Oh, is that HBO? Yeah, that is HBO.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I heard
Yeah,
heard it
so,
came
yeah.
out. But-
But I
Yeah,
mean, it's
okay.
cool to see so many people kind of like entering the like arena. You know what I mean?
Netflix
So-
is hitting it hard. I mean, like as always with Netflix, their strategy is always just throw enough stuff at the wall, see what sticks, which are apparently is stuck enough. I think they have a new superhero show coming out that looks kind of like The Boys, but like not quite as dark.
Yeah.
But more of a
They
dark
have-
theme.
Yeah, dark take on superheroes. And Shadow and Bone, which is an adaptation of Leigh Bardugo's series, is out now. Have you guys? I've watched 3 episodes.
I've
Watched-
finished it.
I watched the first episode. The trailer actually really got me on that one.
Okay.
I've watched all of them. Am I the only one?
I watched
but
20
okay.
minutes in between doing some chores and couldn't focus. So I'll have to
Well, you were doing chores, Jake.
between.
So
I was taking a rest.
quick review. I give it like a 3 out of 5. It was good. Like it was better than the first
Okay.
episode. I thought was the weakest, and I thought that the production quality was really good. The acting was good. It was all a little bit campy, but I enjoyed it, and I hope that they make more seasons. And it made me like excited for more stuff that Netflix is doing.
We haven't. Have any of you guys read the books? I haven't. We haven't, right? No one has.
No,
So I have a friend who has, and she said she wasn't super pleased with it. They made a lot of changes. She seems to be a pretty big purist to the series, but apparently this was a combination of some of the trilogy and also some of the like duology that was more of a prequel. Like there were 2 plot lines interwoven for the show. She was okay with it. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting to see that they like. I don't know. I'm okay with changes like that if it's like thoughtfully done. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And then what's that other Netflix show? It's like a Sherlock Holmes, but it's kind of like combining some like fantasy elements to it.
oh, the Irregulars or something.
Yeah,
The Irregulars. I
I haven't
haven't
watched
seen
a few
that at all
episodes
either.
I started watching Shadow and Bone instead of that. I enjoyed it more.
Ryan, what TV has you interested? Anything?
Well, Shadow and Bone, which I watched, and I
Just the
recently,
first episode so far?
yes, just the first episode.
Okay.
I recently watched Chernobyl, which would probably be interesting to anybody with an interest in science fiction, which is an
that was
HBO
crazy.
series. And I found out that on HBO, there's a lot of older TV shows. So I've been watching Batman Beyond with my son, Jude.
Such a good
Nice.
one.
hmm It's funny because these shows that came out when we were growing up, you couldn't really watch them like back to back. You basically like would watch them and whatever episode was on was on. And
Yeah.
so it's weird watching a show actually in chronological
Is
order.
is there like a more of a cohesive story like that, or is it more
Not
just
too
episodic?
cohesive. I think they purposefully, because of the format, they know people won't be watching them back to back. There's not a super cohesive story. Most of the episodes are pretty isolated.
Mhm.
But anyways, I thought that was interesting. So I'll
pretty
have to watch Shadow and Bone and report back maybe on the next monthly episode. But I will say the acting wasn't too impressive to me in the first episode.
I was
Yeah.
intrigued that what's his face? Ben Barnes, is that his name? The guy
Yes.
from Punisher.
Like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, who does he play in it? Is he in the?
He's not in the first episode.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, you'll see. I'm only 3 episodes in, and I'm intrigued by his character.
And then we have Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which
Yeah, that wrapped.
Finish that.
We're going to do a combined Loki, Captain and Winter Soldier review. I think.
We are?
Um,
Okay.
Yeah. There wasn't a ton to talk about with Winter Soldier in terms of like the fantasy context.
Yeah.
I thought. I don't know. I liked
Yeah,
it. Okay.
I think we were all kind of like, yeah, it's all right. But
Yeah.
I liked some of the I liked the themes they tackled, and I thought it was a really cool and self-aware way, and like kind of socially aware
yeah.
way,
I mean,
way to tackle it. But
yeah.
I think a lot of people were disappointed because it wasn't as unique as WandaVision, so it didn't have that pull to it, and it was classic like action for most of it.
and the plot was just kind of disjointed for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the plot wasn't as tight as it could have been, but for the themes of race and like Injustice. I thought they, for the most part, did super well on those.
I felt like they kind of backloaded that though. Like I felt like it was like all really good and really necessary, but it was kind of heavy-handed in the final couple episodes where they could have kind of like explored that stuff throughout it a little bit better.
I wish they would have explored like more in detail throughout.
Like
but
more. I would say like spread it out so it doesn't feel as heavy-handed.
Yeah, that's true. The speech at the end, like that might have been a little.
I really
heavy.
liked it. I really liked the speech at the end.
I got a little shivers from it, but I think that it would have even struck home harder had you kind of like had these kind of talks
Like
throughout
ramped
it.
up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I just didn't really resonate with the villain, Morgan Thaw very much. But
I will say I'm glad that WandaVision came out before this because it kind of like gave me more hope for like how the like not that Captain America was bad, but like just or like I don't know. It just
we see the potential. The bar is pretty
Yeah.
high already.
Yeah.
I'm pumped for Loki. I think Loki's going to be really good.
Yeah.
I
You're
was
low-key
not
pumped for
excited.
Loki's.
I was not excited when it first like was announced.
Really?
Especially not when they announced the typography of the logo looks terrible to me. But once I saw the trailer with Owen Wilson and everything, I was like, okay, yeah, I can get into this.
Well, speaking of trailers, we don't really have a trailer, but we have a promo for a trailer. A new one.
Yeah, we got another teaser from Wheel of Time just the other day. We got a Lan Mandragorian.
We talked a little bit about this.
Mandrag. What is his last name? It is
Mandragorian.
Mandragoran. I
Yeah,
said
Mandragorian. Yeah,
but I don't know what the
Mandalorian. What is it?
We talked a little bit about this. Is anybody else getting sick of these teasers
So
for Wheel of Time?
I was going to go on this response on Discord because we kind of talked about this, but then I didn't. I don't get the hate. To me, these are just like posters. Like in the they're like the 20
posters.
they're like the 21st century version of posters. It's like the online viral version of like releasing a movie poster at a movie theater.
How much longer can they do it before giving us a trailer, though, Josh?
Well,
my prediction is trailer is this month of May or early June.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that we as fans are super into it and we like it, but the fact is that they could just be giving us nothing because it's not like we're getting so close to the release date of the show without a trailer. Like I don't think there's a trailer for The Witcher 2.
It's like if you're experiencing burnout right now, it's because you're following too many people or talking about it. You know what I mean? Like they should not feel responsible for burnout among fans right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
I do think, I don't know, one of the issues with it is because, like Josh said, they're more like posters. Some of the editing styles I've seen on them, I haven't really been a big fan of, like the slow motion or blur or whatever it is at the end of the Land teaser.
Well, I think that they were blurring out specifically. They didn't want
what
to
he
give
was
us
fighting.
Good look at the Trolloc. I assume he was fighting Trolloc, and they didn't want to give us I think maybe the visual effects haven't really been done.
They're not finished
so
yet.
they just kept it blurry.
So Jake, is there a release date for this show? Because there was a leak that some Twitter account, right, tweeted out a potential.
I've heard release. I don't know what has been validated. I've heard release dates of like fall or holiday, but I don't know if there's anything that's been validated for the show or for the trailer. I've heard it. I've seen tweets that say there was like a leak that said the trailer is coming in May, but that was also after people were already predicting it was coming in May. So it's hard to know if that's a legit leak or someone just trying to.
I mean, heck, tomorrow we could tweet out Fantology has exclusive information. The trailer is coming out in 2 weeks, and people might talk about it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did hear that they're doing a couple more reshoots or something, and I think it's more for just like touch-ups with things like that, like close-ups and like panning shots or something. But I've heard that as a rumor for the past year, so I have no idea what that really means.
All right, 3 more pieces of news. This is for you, Ryan. Books. So 3 pieces of news for books that are upcoming. We got a cover for Wisdom of Crowds, cover reveal for Wisdom of Crowds, that they then went back and redid because apparently it was the same lion from World of Warcraft or something. So then they put a different lion on the cover.
How did that happen? How
Yeah,
does that happen?
not sure how that happens. So we do have a final cover, and you can pre-order Wisdom of Crowds by Joe Abercrombie now. And I actually did earlier today. So I'm very excited for that one. We got a title for The Burning 3, the Rage of Dragons series. And that book will be called Lord of Demons. I don't think there's a release date on that. And we got a cover for The Fall of Babel, which is the last in the Books of Babel. And I know none of us have read the Books of Babel yet. Well, Senlin Ascends is the name of the first book, but the series is Books of Babel. That's a series I would like to be current on by September. We'll see if we can get there because our reading schedules are already ambitious. I'm most excited for Wisdom of Crowds, but I mean, I'm biased because I just love that series.
I'm excited for it too.
Good.
I got you.
Good.
I'm pretty far behind, but I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a great book.
I need to catch up with you too, Jake, because we're trying to do reviews for Before They Are Hanged and Last Argument of Kings to go on with all of our other reviews for Abercrombie. We want to be like hyping Abercrombie going up to release.
Yeah, I finished Before They Were Hanged about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Really liked it. I thought it was a big improvement over the first book, which I also really liked, but we'll get into that more later.
Okay. And then I know at least Josh and I, who else has read Rage of Dragons? Is it just Josh and I?
I read it first.
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah.
I'm the pioneer on Fantology.
Sorry, Ryan. Hey, that's my
Ryan
bad.
is the pioneer.
That's
I think
my
you're
bad.
the first to read First Law as well, right?
I think so.
Yes.
And technically the first one to read Dresden. Maybe not. Actually.
No, definitely not.
Technically not the first one, but not the last one though.
The first book though? I thought you read the first
No,
book.
Steven read the first
Okay.
book first.
Okay.
Props. All right. So we do have books that are coming out later in this year that we're excited for. Nothing I don't know of any big releases in May that I'm actually planning on getting into. And we don't have time to do our TBRs, but hop on Discord and we'll let you know what we're actually focused on.
Great.
Cool. Okay. Thanks for tuning in and follow us on Twitter. Definitely submit your entries for top 3 science fiction and fantasy mothers. If you win, you get a fabulous prize of Fantology swag. Just see you there. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
And
guys.
don't put your own mothers in the entry.
All right. I'll try not to.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Until next time.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Fantology. If you'd like to let us know your opinions on all things sci-fi and fantasy, join our Discord. Invites are in the episode descriptions below. If you'd like to support the show, like these fine folks here, you can do that at patreon.com/Fantology_books. Patrons get early access to new episodes, exclusive postings, and exclusive Discord benefits. But of course, just listening and watching and sharing with your friends and family is support enough. Journey before destination all.